Welcome back to Investing Talk podcast. We're going to be looking at Foot Locker today.
Sounds good.
And you've really pulled together quite a bit of information here for this deep dive. We have earnings reports, analyst sentiment, even like a full-blown due diligence report. So this should be fun. We should be able to really get a sense of where this company is at right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we got? Where should we start?
Well, we could start with the, most recent information. We have the fourth quarter 2024 earnings, which were reported March 5th, 2025.
Okay.
And then, we also have, we can look at analyst ratings, competitor actions, even kind of peek into the social media buzz,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And then, underlying all that, we should look at their financials, kind of get a sense of, their financial health. What are their key strengths? Are there any red flags?
Right. Okay, so let's start with these fourth quarter 2024 earnings. Like what jumped out at you?
One of the things that I noticed right away was that they had a year-over-year decline in total sales of 5.8%.
Mm.
And, at first glance, that might be concerning. Yeah, you see sales declining.
Yeah, I mean that's not usually a good sign, right?
Not usually, but,
Mm.
you always have to dig a little deeper.
Yeah.
And, what was encouraging was that their gross margin expanded 300 basis points, which is basically a 3 percentage point increase.
Oh, okay. So that's good.
So that means that they're either managing their costs well or they've got some good pricing strategies in place.
Right.
And then if you dig even deeper, comparable sales actually increased.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so 3.6% for Global Foot Locker and Kids Foot Locker.
Yeah, that's actually that's a good sign, right? Because comparable sales means the stores that were open a year ago are doing better now.
Right, exactly. So it's like kind of their core,
Right.
business.
Right.
It's not like they opened a bunch of new stores that, did well or whatever. It's like the existing business is actually performing better, which is a good sign.
Yeah, that is a good sign. So looking at the full year 2025 then, revenue came in at $7.99 billion. That's a 2.2% decline from the year before. But their earnings per share were 19 cents, which is a huge improvement from a loss of $3.50 per share the year before.
Yeah, that's a pretty dramatic turnaround.
So what do you make of that?
Well, I think it shows that they're really focused on efficiency. Their revenue might be down a little bit,
Right.
but they've really turned around their profitability.
Right.
And it's not a huge profit, but it's a profit, which is, a lot better than losing money.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so it sounds like, they are reacting to, maybe a challenging environment. They're trying to improve efficiency. What about, longer term? What are their sort of strategic initiatives?
Well, they've got a couple of things going on.
Mm.
One is a store refresh program. They're aiming to revamp about 300 stores in 2025. And the focus is on, modernizing the layout, incorporating some advanced technology, and offering exclusive product releases.
So what do you think about this experiential focus? Like, is that really going to work to, get people in the stores?
Well, retail's changing a lot, right?
Yeah.
People aren't just going to stores to buy things anymore. They want an experience.
Yeah.
So I think Foot Locker's trying to, create that kind of experience in their stores.
Yeah. And I guess those exclusive product releases, that's a good way to get people in the door, right?
For sure. Especially if there are things you can't get anywhere else.
Right. Okay, and then the other big thing is they're relocating their global headquarters to St. Petersburg, Florida.
Yeah.
And this is part of what they're calling the lace-up plan.
Right.
What do you think about that move?
Well, I think it's interesting that they're choosing to relocate to a place that has a strong connection to, kind of sneaker culture.
Yeah.
And I think, they're probably hoping to, kind of tap into that and, be closer to, kind of the heart of that culture.
Okay, so they're kind of trying to embed themselves in that community.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that could be good for, marketing and branding and all that.
Right. And also for, attracting talent. If you're a sneakerhead, you might be more likely to want to work for a company that's based in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Yeah, right. Okay, so we've talked about their financials, their strategic initiatives. Let's talk about the market now. Their stock has really been struggling. It's down about 71% since its peak in 2021.
Wow, that's a big drop.
Yeah, it is. And, even with some of this positive news we've been talking about, it hasn't really bounced back.
Yeah.
What do you think is going on there?
Well, I think there's a couple of things. I think, investors are still a little bit wary. They've seen this big decline, and they're not sure if the company has really turned things around yet.
Okay.
And then I think there's also some concern about the broader retail environment. There's a lot of uncertainty out there right now.
Right. Yeah.
And, people are being more cautious with their spending.
Yeah, especially with inflation and everything.
Right, exactly.
Okay. So what about the analysts? What are they saying?
Well, they're kind of cautiously optimistic, I would say.
Hmm.
They're acknowledging that the company's made some positive steps, but they're also aware of the challenges that remain,
Okay.
especially the struggles in apparel sales.
Yeah, that's been a consistent issue for them, right?
It has.
Yeah.
And it's something that they really need to figure out.
Yeah. What do you think they need to do there?
Well, they need to innovate. They
Yeah.
need to come up with some new products, some new designs that are going to excite people.
Right, right.
And they need to do a better job of marketing their apparel. They're known for footwear, but they need to get people thinking about them for apparel as well.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And then, of course, there's the whole economic uncertainty thing, which you already alluded to. You know, consumer spending could slow down even more. There's potential tariffs. This is definitely reflected in their, 2025 outlook, which is pretty cautious.
Yeah, I mean, they're not exactly predicting, a boom year.
Right.
They're being realistic about the challenges that they face.
Okay. So let's talk about the broader industry. We're seeing this big shift towards experiential shopping and digital engagement. We've already talked about the store refresh program, and that seems to be trying to tap into that experiential thing. But what do you think, like, how effective are they being at this?
Well, it's hard to say for sure. I mean, the program sounds good on paper,
Yeah, right.
but it really comes down to execution.
Okay.
Are they creating stores that people actually want to spend time in?
Right, right.
Are they using technology in a way that enhances the shopping experience?
Okay, so you're saying we gotta, wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, I think the potential is there, but, we'll have to see how it plays out.
Okay. And then what about the competitive landscape? Like, how do they stack up against the competition?
Well, they're obviously in a very competitive industry.
Yeah.
Um, you've got companies like Dick's Sporting Goods, which is, a much bigger company. They have a wider range of products. They're more diversified.
Right.
And then you have, Finish Line, which is owned by JD Sports, which is a big international retailer.
Okay.
So Foot Locker's kind of caught in the middle there. They're not as big as Dick's, and they're not as international as JD Sports.
Okay, so where do their advantages lie?
Well, I think their main advantage is their brand. They have a
Mhm.
very strong brand, especially with younger consumers.
Yeah.
And they have a global presence, which gives them some diversification,
Okay.
but they're definitely facing some challenges.
Okay. Well, let's do a deep dive now into their financials. We already mentioned their revenue, 7.99 billion over the last 12 months, but their net income was only $12 million. Their earnings per share were 13 cents. That's not great.
Yeah.
Their market cap is $1.4 billion. And then their price to earnings ratio is really high. It's over 116. What do you make of that?
Yeah, that's a pretty high PE ratio.
Yeah.
It suggests that investors are either expecting a lot of growth in the future
Okay.
or they're overpaying for the stock.
Right.
It's hard to say for sure,
Yeah.
but it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Okay. And then their debt to equity ratio is 13.6%. Is that anything to be concerned about?
Not really, no. It's pretty moderate.
Okay.
It means that they're not using a lot of debt to finance their operations.
Right, right. Okay, so we've talked about some of the challenges. We've talked about some of their strengths. Let's kind of summarize, like, what are the main red flags here for Foot Locker?
Well, the biggest red flag is probably the cautious consumer spending environment.
Yeah.
Especially among younger consumers.
Hmm.
These are the people who are buying athletic footwear and apparel.
Right.
And if they're not spending money, that's a problem for Foot Locker.
Yeah, for sure. What else?
And then, the other red flag is the intense competition.
Mm.
There are a lot of companies out there selling athletic footwear and apparel.
Yeah.
And it's a very easy industry to enter. So there's always new competition popping up.
Okay, so what about their strengths of them? Like, what are they doing well?
Well, I think their biggest strength is their brand portfolio.
Okay.
They have some very strong brands like
Okay.
Foot Locker, Kids Foot Locker, Champs Sports.
Right.
And these brands are well known and well respected, especially among younger consumers.
Okay. What else?
And then, they also have a global presence.
Mm-hmm.
They operate in over 27 countries. So that gives them some diversification. If one market's struggling, they can potentially make up for it in another market.
Okay, that makes sense. So looking ahead then, what are some of the key catalysts that we should be watching for?
Well, I think the biggest catalyst is going to be the success of their strategic initiatives.
Okay.
The store refresh program, the relocation of their headquarters, the lace up plan.
Mm,
If they can execute on these initiatives, that could really help to turn the company around.
okay.
But, there's always the risk that they won't be successful.
Right.
So that's something that we'll have to watch closely.
Okay. And then what about risks? Like, what are the biggest risks that they're facing?
Well, the biggest risk is probably the macroeconomic environment.
Mm-hmm.
If the economy weakens, that's going to hurt consumer spending,
Right.
and that's going to hurt Foot Locker.
Yeah. And then there's also the potential for regulatory changes.
Right. Things like trade policies or retail regulations.
Right. Okay, so we talked about analyst sentiment earlier. They're kind of cautiously optimistic. They have a hold rating on the stock, but their 12-month price target is $23.56. That's actually, significantly above where the stock is trading right now.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
Well, I think it shows that the analysts see some potential in the company.
Okay.
They think that the stock could go up if the company executes on its plans.
Right.
But they're not ready to give it a buy rating yet.
Okay.
They're still a little bit cautious.
Okay. And then finally, we noted that the revenue growth is slower than the industry average. Is that a big concern?
It could be. It suggests that they're losing market share.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's also possible that they're just focused on a different part of the market.
Okay.
They're really focused on athletic footwear.
Right.
And that part of the market might not be growing as fast as the overall industry.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So last question, what about the CEO, Mary Dillon? She's been in charge since 2022. What do you think about her leadership so far?
Well, it's hard to say for sure.
Hmm.
She's only been there a couple of years.
Right.
But I think she's made some positive changes. She's focused on improving the customer experience.
Okay.
She's investing in technology.
Okay.
And she's trying to make the company more efficient.
Right. Right.
So, I think she's on the right track.
Okay. Well, I think that's a good overview of Foot Locker. They're definitely facing some challenges, but they also have some strengths. It'll be interesting to see how they perform in the coming years.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how these strategic initiatives play out, especially the Lace Up plan and what that means for their presence in, the sneakerhead community.
Yeah, that's a good point. And of course, we'll be keeping an eye on the overall economy and how that affects consumer spending.
Exactly.
So thanks for all this information. It was really helpful.
No problem. It was a fun deep dive.
Yeah, it was. All right, well, that's it for this week's deep dive. We hope you found it informative. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment below letting us know what you think and what other companies you'd like us to cover in the future.
See you next time.